I have a woefully undersubscribed subreddit, so please do me a favour. If you're a Redditor, head on over to r/postmortem studios and talk about anything related to any of my shenanigans. Peace.
Given how things have actually escalated to crossing the border and actual military action in Ukraine, I was pondering the idea of doing something about that today. But I woke up to discover a content warning punishment on my channel for a very old video in which I was criticising the UK Independence Party, UKIP. Having recently been accused of being far right, which is 180 degrees from what I actually am, one of the criticisms, or one of the sources of the criticism that was levelled at me was that I don't spend a great deal of time talking about my politics on Twitter and elsewhere, which is A, bafflingly wrong, but B, kind of understandable, since you're disincentivized from discussing anything controversial or remotely interesting anywhere online these days. The algorithms, rather than having the chronological timelines, mean that anything contentious, at least contentious in certain ways, tends to get buried. So unless you're deliberately looking for it, you are rather unlikely to find these things that I've done. I have done plenty of videos where I argue against the talking points of the far right, where I debunk their conspiracy theories and so on, but due to the nature of algorithms and the sensitivity that places like YouTube have to discussing these topics, they get downlisted. You don't find them unless you're doing very, very specific searches, and so on. So in a way, it's understandable why these people might not necessarily see more of my left-wing activism, because it gets punished. And I'm not a big enough channel with enough Patreon support that I can afford to completely ignore the financial pressures involved with having videos demonetized, downlisted, with being shadow banned on Twitter and so on for daring to talk about anything controversial. Because it's only certain things that you can't talk about. Other kinds of controversy are the bread and butter of places like Twitter, but nuanced discussion of difficult topics doesn't happen. Criticising the far right often involves talking about what the far right believes and illustrating what they believe, and because human moderation is not possible on these big platforms, that tends to mean an artificial idiot will take you debunking an anti-vaccine conspiracy or a far-right conspiracy or whatever as being somehow promoting that content rather than debunking it, because artificial idiots can't recognize context. They just see the bad, no, naughty word or naughty image or whatever, and that's it. So I've had a warning, I'll appeal, hopefully that will resolve the issue, but that might well be why you don't see more of that kind of thing here. It's either being hidden from you, or I have to bite my tongue if I want to keep these platforms as useful tools.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Neverwhere is a book by Neil Gaiman and a TV series from 1996, which has also been produced as a radio play and as a graphic novel. I secured permission in 1997 from Crucial Films and Neil Gaiman's agent to produce a semi-official Neverwhere role-playing game, provided that it not be done for profit. With the Neverwhere RPG, you can follow in the footsteps of the Lady Door and Richard Mayhew Dick in exploring London's mysterious underside, the twilight world just out of sight of normal people. Beware of Knight's Bridge, avoid the Seven Sisters, be cautious of Turnham Green, and walk the byways of the floating market. Neverwhere uses the description system a bridge between descriptive prose and dice mechanics to let you really bring your words to life. Available for free at drivethroughrpg.com.
Now, Bob, consider this next question very carefully. What is your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.